gradual process. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Jai Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Brahmacharya, Asatara Shishimad. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki, Anantakota Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Prem Sikaho, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur, Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopipya, Shamakun, Radhakun, Giri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Maya Purnavi Dham ki jai, Gangamai ki jai, Jamunamai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Transcendental Bhakti Distribution ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees. All glories, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, text number 2. Jvara of a fever. No. Oh. Jvara martasya yathagatam sat nidhagha daghasya yata Himamba Kudeha Manahi Vidasta Driste Brahman Vachaste Amritam Ausadham Me Jharamayartasya Yathagatam Syat Nidhaghasya Yathahi Mahamba Kudeha Manahi Vidasta Justehe Brahman Vachastim Ritam Ashaud Me Jharamayartasya Yathagatam Syat Nidhagdaghasya Yathahi Mambaha Kudeha Manahi Vidasta Dristehe Brahman Vachastim Ritam Ashaud Me Jaramayartasya Yathagatam Syat Nadagda dagdhasya yatha himam baha. Kudeha manahi vidasta dristes. Praman vachas tem ritam ashaudham me. Dvaramahasya tadam sha. Ananda, would you like to chant? Anyone on Zoom?
Jvara maya tasya yathagadam sat.
Tasya yathagadam syat.
Nidagdagdasya yatha himambaha. Udehamanahi vidashta drishte. Brahman vachaste mritam aushadam me.
Very good. Ananda, we're missing your association. Hopefully you get better soon.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Jvara of a fever. Amaya by the disease. Artasya of a distressed person. Yata just as. Agadham the medicine. Sat right. The dagta dagdhasya of one scorched by the heat of the sun. Yata just as. Hima amba very cold water. Kudeha in this body made of matter and full of dirty things such as stool and urine. Mana of pride. Ahi by the serpent. Vidasta bitten. Driste of one whose vision. Brahman, O best of the Brahmanas. Vachaha words. Te your. Amritam nectar. Asaudham medicine. May for me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada ki. O best of the Brahmanas, my body is filled with dirty things, and my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. Due to my material conceptions, I am diseased. Your nectarian instructions are the proper medicine for one suffering from such a fever, and they are cooling waters for one scorched by the heat. Oh, he's really become humbled by Jada Bharata's words of wisdom. Purport. The conditioned soul has a body full of dirty things, bones, blood, urine, stool, and so forth. Nonetheless, the most intelligent men in this material world think they are these combinations of blood, bone, urine, and stool. If this is so, why can't other intelligent men be made with these ingredients, which are so readily available? Like Prabhupada used to give the example of his dear disciple, Dr. Swarup Damodar. And there was one professor who he got the Nobel laureate for, what was it? Life comes from matter or something, chemicals, something about. So he went to him and said, well, if I give you these chemicals, can you make life? That I cannot say. Prabhupada quoted that so many times. These guys are such cheaters. Saying life comes from matter, but you give the matter, they can't make life. We're working on it. Been working on it for a long time, and they will be working on it for a long time, and they're not going to get anywhere. Actually, they have one robot. I forgot her name. What's her name? She talks and she walks, and I forgot her name. But Sophia, I think Sophia. Yeah, she talks, walks. You can have a conversation with it, but it's all programmed. Everything is programmed. So they're very proud that they have this robot now. They can walk and talk and have a conversation, but it's programmed from another person. They'll never get make life from matter, although they'll try. The entire world is going on under the bodily conception and creating a hellish condition, unfit for any gentleman's living. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this material world is no place for a gentleman. Was it Bhaktisiddhanta? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it's a weird abode. That was his quote. It's a weird abode, this material world, strange place, no place for a gentleman. The instructions given to King Rahugana by Jada Bharata are very valuable, priceless instructions. They are like the medicine that can save one from a snake bite. The Vedic instructions are like nectar and cool water for one suffering in the scorching heat. Om Jnanatimandasya Gunanjana Slokaya Chakshramalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Bukam Kotavachalang Pongunang Hoite Grim Yatkripataraham Vande Shigurum Dinataranam Vanchakapati Vista Kripa Sindhu Devacha Bodhitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In Miami, when I was living there many decades ago, there was a terrible accident. It was the worst accident in the history of Miami, head-on collision. But what was kind of surprising is that, a few people died in the accident, but one lady, she died in the accident. Her face wasn't touched, but her body was completely torn asunder. It was just opened up completely. And the first policeman that got there at the scene, he saw that, and he vomited upon seeing the inside of the body. She was an attractive lady. The face wasn't touched, but the body opened up. He vomited and he quit the job that day. Yeah, it was too much. It's too much. It's like so yeah, the material body it's filled with so many obnoxious elements, very dirty. Yeah, but so there's dirt on the inside. There's also, this is the gross dirt, and then there's the subtle dirt. Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion. This is dirt that we've had for a long time, that we're trying to become cleansed of. And it's Daivi hesa guna mai, mama maya duratiya, mama viye papodyante, maya mitam charantite. Krishna says this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. But one who surrenders unto me can very easily cross beyond it. So this is the only way we're going to get cleansed of the inner dirt, and the external dirt. There's the modes of nature. There's so much dirt in the. Just step outside. I mean, Pacific Beach is probably one of the dirtiest cities in Southern California. It's like, I mean, I heard there's more bars in this area here than any other place in the country per capita. I've heard. You heard that before? Anyway, there's a lot of bars. A lot of them, they're not going there and chanting. They're doing all nonsense, all sinful activities, So, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gacharanyata. Then in this age of Kali, the only way to get purified of all this contamination is to chant the holy names of Krishna. Prabhupada, quite often Prabhupada, like I listen to a lot of Prabhupada's lectures, and he'll just be walking, with the devotees, and he'll just chant that verse, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. He'll just spontaneously, this is the only hope. The holy name. There's no other way, no other way, no other way than to chant the holy name. I was just reading recently, Prabhupada says in the purport, the antiseptic potency of devotional service is so great that it can neutralize the material disease even within this very lifetime. We don't have to wait to the next life. Iha yasya harir dasya karmana manasagir nikila sapivasyasu jivan mukto suuchate. That anybody who engages their mind, body, and words in the service of Krishna becomes purified, both inside and out. So this is the key. We have to engage in devotional service. This is what purifies us of all this subtle dirt and gross dirt and all the dirt in this world. It's like you come to a dirty place, you're going to get dirty, right? So we've come to this dirty world. Now we're trying to become clean. And Prabhupada, as that sign says out there in our washroom there, that a Brahmana means when he leaves a place, it's cleaner when he leaves than it was when he arrived. So we've arrived here in this world dirty, with material desires. Now we're trying to get clean. And while we're trying to get clean, we're also trying to help others become clean of their dirt. This is a devotee. Sarva Sikhino Bhavantu. This is a devotee. His happiness is that he wants to see others happy. That's our mission, to see everyone become happy. What a great mission. I don't know if anybody has a mission statement like that. It's kind of like a mission statement. Our mission is to see that everyone becomes happy. What a great mission statement. Sarva Sikhino Bhavantu. But we have to become clean ourselves. Or they have that saying, doctor, heal thyself. So we have to pray to Krishna that we can become cleansed and that we can help others also become cleansed. Now this King Rahugana, he makes a very interesting little statement here. He says, my vision has been bitten by the serpent of pride. Now when someone is bitten by a deadly snake, what happens? Huh? No, what happens? Well, sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. When someone gets bitten by a snake, the venom goes in the body. Right? The venom, and sometimes it's deadly. It's fatal, sometimes. So here he is saying he's been bitten by the serpent of pride. So he's been bitten by the serpent of pride. That means he's become filled with pride. Became filled with pride. And pride is one of the most dirty things in the material world. Now there's negative pride and there's positive pride. Do you know that? Yeah, there's negative pride and there's positive pride. Negative pride is where we're thinking that we're this body. Prakrite kriyamanani gunaya karmani sarvasa ahankar vidutmatma kartam. Stumbled on that one. The bewildered spirit, so under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself the doer activities which are in actuality carried out by material nature. So we think that we're the doer. We think that we're the proprietor. We're the enjoyer. So this is the pride of the living entity. Actually, we're the servants of Krishna. This is our eternal constitutional position, that we're the servants of Krishna. But this pride, it gets in the way. This negative pride gets in the way of our service to Krishna. And was it Queen Kunti? She says, Janmaisvarya Shutashivir Edamana Madapama Naivarha Divitaktum Tvami Kinchana Gocharam. That she says that Krishna, you're very easily approachable, but only by those persons who are materially exhausted. They don't want anything else in this material world. But those persons who want janma, high birth, aishvarya, opulence, a lot of money, education, shuta, shri, beauty, they cannot call your name with feeling. And the prime example is Lord Indra himself. Lord Indra, yeah. He, king of heaven, big position. And he was on his throne and enjoying the position of king of heaven. His spiritual master came and he neglected him. So his spiritual master, he cursed him. What was the curse? Bhakti Daniel became a hog. He became a hog. So now he's a hog, and he met a nice hog lady, and they had little piglets, and hoglets. 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 Okay, hoglets. I never heard that one. Hoglets. Hoglets. And he's having a good time down there, you know, enjoying material life with his family. But things weren't being managed too well up in heaven. So Brahma, he reduced the curse and came down and said, hey, you know, you're actually Indra. You're the king of heaven. You're not a hog. You know. So you could come back. You can come back and manage heaven now. He said, "What? You want me to leave my wife and the hoglets? Are you serious? This is life, man. This is happiness. You know. Yeah, I got responsibility. I got to pay bills, and you know, I got to work." So Brahma was amazed. So Brahma is pretty intelligent, so he decided to kill the wife and children, little hoglets. And then he kind of woke up and, oh, well, yeah, this is terrible. All right, let's, take me back home. Take me to heaven. So he again became the king of heaven. But Krishna also comes. And he tells us, why are you wasting your life in this hellish life? You know, just living like animals. People, you know, it said, Dvipada Pashu. Dvipada Pashu, people that are just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, they're like animals. Two-legged animals. wasting the human form of life. So Krishna comes and tells us, don't waste your life. You know, come, chant Hare Krishna, serve me, go back home. No death, no old age, no disease, no anxiety. Why are you here wasting this very valuable human form of life? So Krishna, he's very kind. He's very kind. I remember when I was growing up, I had this friend. We were really close. Really close. We would go everywhere together. And we were so close that when we were moving from Texas to California, he pulled me over and said, why don't you talk your mom into staying here? Don't go to California. We were so attached. I said, come on, I want to go to California. I don't want to stay here in Texas. You know? But we were so close that he was trying to get me to convince my mother, hey, don't go to California. So we were very close. Of course, as time went on, we became distant and the friendship became lost. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is always our best friend. He goes with us wherever we go. And he's always thinking of our welfare. Always wanting to help us. Of course, we were rebellious sons. We don't want to do what the Father wants us to do, so we continue on in this material world, chewing the chewed, as we heard very nicely yesterday. So, Janma, Aishwarya, high birth, opulence. It's like how many people from a high birth are joining our society? Any senators or governors or people in big, even a judge, or even we don't even get policemen join. So it's pretty rare for people from a high birth. It's actually a curse to be born. Yeah, Ambarish is the only one that we know of. He was born in an aristocratic family. And it's interesting that when he joined, he was just like your ordinary brahmacharya. And we were in saffron, walking around barefoot, and opening the door for Prabhupada and doing all kinds of menial service to Krishna. So he's a rare, and he's so humble. He's such a nice, humble Vaishnava. Amazing. Past life, he's just picking up from his past life. Wonderful devotee. But that's pretty rare. Janma, Aishwarya, people that are very wealthy. How many wealthy people join? People are intoxicated. Just like this one man I know at the park. He's a millionaire. And he said last year he made $1 million on the stock market. And I said, come on, man, you're 78 years old. You're going to die at any moment. He said, that's all right, but I just relish having that money in the bank. just relishes it. Just the thought that I got millions of dollars in the bank. It's intoxicating. People are intoxicated by wealth. Aishwarya, Shruta, education. People that are very intelligent. It's difficult. PhDs, masters, become very proud of this. And beauty. How many very beautiful people are attracted to Krishna and coming and joining? Very few. Actually, in Europe and also in Russia, handsome, attractive people join. Not so much in America for some reason. I don't know why. But in general, these things make it difficult for people to surrender to Krishna. So this pride, it's called pratishta. Pratishta, this false prestige. And it was a Raghunath Das Goswami, he compares it to hog stool. Hog stool, pride. Anybody ever decorate themselves with hog stool? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So this pride is like that. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's disgusting. But people are proud to be proud, you know. I mean, it's like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in Texas, and there's a lot of Texan pride there. Proud to be Texan, you know. In America in general. This land is our land, this land is your land, and it's made for you and me. So we're very proud Americans. But actually, how long are we going to be Americans? You know, American bodies, very short time. And where we're going after that, yeah, we don't know. Yeah. Of course, if we take Krishna consciousness seriously and serve Krishna, because this can be our last life. It's interesting, Prabhupada said that the reason America is so opulent is because this is the only country in the world where it has an all-our currency, in God we trust. It's the only country in the world. And Krishna appreciated that. You know? Of course, now we're forgetting, and there's some atheistic movements that are trying to take that off the currency. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, every year they're trying to take it off because they're atheists. They don't want to walk around with this currency that is in God we trust. It's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. So they're trying to take it off. Let's see what happens if they're ever successful. It'd be a bad move for this country. So our forefathers are actually very God conscious. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equally, endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights for happiness, liberty, for liberty and the happiness and the pursuit of happiness. Something, yeah. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes. So they were very God conscious, actually, and this is why it prospered so much. But now atheism isn't growing. Atheism is growing, unfortunately. It's a problem. But the books are also going out. Millions are going out every year. So we're counteracting. We're trying to counteract the false propaganda of the rascal atheists. So this pride is also one of the things that pretty much finished Varnashram in India, because the Brahmanas became proud. Yeah. It's described that in Kali Yuga, demons take birth in Brahmin families. Demons take birth in Brahmin families, and they're, demons are proud. It got so bad that if a Sudra walked on a Brahmana's shadow, he would have to, the Brahmana would have to do some type of penance or something, And if a Sudra was walking by a Brahmana's home, he would have to shout to the house, "A Sudra is coming by, please close your door." Yeah. Yeah, it became insane, absolutely insane. Until Lord Chaitanya came. He changed the whole thing. Kibra vipra, kibunyasi sudra kenayo. Ye Krishna tattaveta se guru hoy. That whether one is a sannyasi or a brahmana or a sudra, if one knows the science of Krishna, he can become a guru. Just knowing it doesn't matter what his birth is. The birth doesn't matter. It's the quality. Like these brahmanas, they became so insane with pride. And still, it's like that. We can't, devotees can't go into Jagannath Puri. Western devotees can't go. And even if Ramapati tried to go into the temple there in Jagannath Puri, and he's wearing tilak, and he looks like an ISKCON devotee. They won't let him in because they think he's contaminated, isn't it? They won't let him in. It's crazy. These guys are insane, huh? Yeah, if they can tell that you're with ISKCON, you got tilak on, and you have some, something that looks like ISKCON, they won't let you in because you're contaminated. They won't. He can't go see Jagannath. It's just insane. These guys are completely gone. And therefore, Prabhupada said Jagannath has left. Prabhupada said Jagannath has left because they're thinking Lord Jagannath is the Lord of Puri, but he's Jagannath. He's Lord of the universe. Yeah. Anybody that becomes a devotee of Krishna can get darshan of the Lord of the universe, Jagannath. Right? So many of them are eating fish and smoking beedies. Isn't it? So, Srila Prabhupada has come to help all of society. Yeah. So, I thought I wanted to mention one other thing about pride. There's something called the PDS. Anybody heard of the PDS? Pure Devotee Syndrome. This usually happens when someone first comes and they think, yeah, within 6 months I should be a pure devotee. It's called the Pure Devotee Syndrome. They come, yeah, well, maybe 9 months I'll be a pure devotee. Yeah. So the pride is there. So, yeah, it's so difficult to become free of this pride. So how to become free of this pride? We have to serve the Vaishnavas. Serve Krishna very humbly, serve the Vaishnavas very humbly, and we'll become free of this pride. And also, if you go out on book distribution, that's a big help. You get a lot of rejection, and you got to be tolerant and humble. So this is very good. So on that note, I thought I'd tell you a few Sankirtan stories. You want to hear a few Sankirtan stories? I don't know if I've told you this story here recently, but there's an instance of. You definitely have. This is a story of Mahotsaha, who he was given a class in Atlanta, and the purport, Prabhupada was smashing Mayavad. So he carried on in the class, smashing Mayavad philosophy, smashing the whole illusory concept. And after the class, one student came up and was speaking to Mahotsaha, and he said, "But aren't we all one? You're me, I'm you, and it's all one." He said, "Well, so you think it's all one? You're me, I'm you, and it's all one?" He said, "Well, yeah, that's my understanding of the absolute truth." He said, "All right, well, then why don't we go to your bank and we'll take my money out of your account, and we'll be happy campers." He said, "All right." And they got in his car and they went to the bank, and he drew out all his money out of his account and he gave it to Mahotsaha. Yeah. And he got a Srimad Bhagavatam set. That's pretty bold. I remember before I started book distribution, the Tamil president, Narhari, he asked, "Are you bold?" I said, "Well, yeah, I can be pretty bold. To be a good Sankirtan, you have to be a little bold. I mean that's the highest extent of boldness that I've ever come across." Mahotsaha. And there was another instance where they went down to Miami. Yeah, they went down to Miami, a little break after the marathon, and they were swimming there in the ocean. It's a lot warmer there than here. So they're coming out of the ocean after a dip, and this person's coming down the beach, and he's chanting Hare Krishna. And Mahotsaha says, "Hey, you're chanting Hare Krishna." He said, "Yeah." I got a book a couple of years ago. I've been chanting on my own. And he says, well, do you have the Srimad Bhagavatam set yet? I said, no. What's that? Well, you're chanting Hare Krishna, you got to have a Srimad Bhagavatam set. And he says, well, and Mahotsaha says, well, we're going to go on Harinam now. We're going to go chant on Lincoln Road Mall. You can come and join us, or somewhere there in Miami. And he said, all right. And then after the Harinam, we could take you to our place and we'll get you a Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, all right. And bought a Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like, they don't miss a beat, you know. It's like amazing. Now I have a couple of stories for you from a local here, Johnny Nivas. Before he came to the USA, he was a book distributor down in Argentina, and he was distributing books a place about maybe, I don't know, 1,500 miles north of Argentina, somewhere maybe 1,200 miles, something like that. So he approached one lady. She was a scientist. And he offered the books to her, and she said, no, I'm a scientist. I'm not interested in this stuff. You know. And she said, well, why are you wasting your time doing this? You know, can't you see people? And they're not interested. They're just walking by you. They're not interested in this stuff. I mean, you're a young, intelligent person. What do you want to do with your life? And before he joined, he wanted to be a doctor. So he said, well, I'm thinking of becoming a doctor. And she said, yeah, why waste your time doing this? You know, anyway, what's the benefit? What do you get out of this? You know, doing this distribution of this literature you're doing. What's the benefit? And he said, well, it's a sacrifice. He said, well, she said, well, what's the result of the sacrifice you're doing? And he just happened to say, well, it'll rain. And she said, rain? Come on, it hasn't rained here in 6 months. Look, there's not a cloud in the sky. You know, come on, you religious fanatics, you know, come on, that's ridiculous, you know. Then she went on, she left. And then he's continuing distributing books, and he's walking back to his Sankirtan vehicle, and he feels some heavy drop on his back. You know, like it started, torrential rain came down. He's like, wow, hey, it works. So then the next morning, he gets up and he's going on Sankirtan, and there's no sign that there was any rain at all. He said, well, maybe it was just a dream or something. You know? Then he's distributing books, and this lady comes running to him, and she said, it rained. It rained last night. I couldn't believe it. It rained. I was telling my mother that I met you, and you said you're doing this sacrifice, and it's going to rain because it rained. She was shocked. So he said, you see, I told you. We're doing the sacrifice. The rain came. And she said, well, is it going to rain tonight too? I said, yeah, we're doing the sacrifice today, and it's going to rain tonight again. Sure enough, it rained again. So then she then he says to her, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to go back to Buenos Aires. And she was kind of like sad, you know, because this is an amazing experience. She said. So then sure enough, it rained that night, and then he went back to Buenos Aires. And after some time, she shows up at the temple and became a devotee. Yeah. Scientist, you know, she was, you know, huh? So yeah, she got that practical experience of Krishna's magic, his mystical ability. You know, that's pretty convincing. You know, and then he tells him another story of he was distributing books. I think it was Buenos Aires, and he approached this young man, and he said, why are you're lost? You're wasting your human form of life. You're just lost in this world. He said, yeah, I am lost. I'm really lost. I mean, it's not only, you know, metaphorically, but I'm lost. I don't know where I am. I came here with my girlfriend from Venezuela. She stole all my money, and stole my passport. I'm here wandering around for the past 2 days. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So he preached to him some. And he said, well, what you can do is you can come and you could stay at our temple. You could live at our temple. Become a Hare Krishna. Become a monk. He said, all right, let me give it a try. So he went and he joined the temple. He was thinking, what a curse, this lady, stole all my money, took my passport, and here I am, homeless here in this huge city, don't know how to get back. But then now he's on his way back home. I don't know if he's still a devotee, but that's pretty cool. Krishna makes amazing arrangements. So, any question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wait, we have some inside question here or comment by.
Yes, I can wait. No problem.
David or Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
You're welcome.
One comment. I had this quote realization some time ago when this came up about how the body is filled with all these objectionable things.
Yeah.
One thing we may not think about, but somehow it just came to me. Krishna, Krishna is so merciful, and one of the ways he's merciful, of course, is by coming as the deity. That's that part of his mercy.
Yeah.
Allowing us to see him and serve him. So, but just think about it a minute. If you were to propose that we, just store a bag of stool and blood and urine on the altar, people would say, "Get out of here! You're crazy." But every day, he allows us to bring these stool-ridden bags on the altar and serve him, touch the deity, and everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's mercy.
That he allows us to, use these contaminated bodies in his service.
Yeah. Somehow we have to utilize this body in the service of Krishna. Was it bad bargain? We have to utilize we got a bad bargain? Huh? Best use of a bad bargain. Yes. Yes. I have a couple stories for you. This devotee, actually he's the first Muslim that Prabhupada initiated. His name was Haridas. Haridas Thakur. So he was Prabhupada, or he came to see Prabhupada, and he asked Prabhupada, "So how are you doing, Haridas? How are you doing?" I'm doing great, Prabhupada. And this last weekend, I distributed 20 Krishna books on Saturday and Sunday, and that was big back in. This is in England, London, back in the 70s. I mean, that's like that's pretty good. And Prabhupada said, "Well, how'd you do it?" He said, "Well, Prabhupada, I go and I present the Krishna book to people, and then I give them a Simply Wonderful, and I tell them, try this. I made this morning. It's one of the best sweets you'll ever eat." So they have the book in their hand, they eat a sweet, and then they give a donation. Prabhupada loved it. He laughed and laughed and laughed. He said, "Yes, this is the best technique. Give them prasadam and give them a book, and then they're sure to give a donation." Take a book. Okay. Vijay Krishna.
Yes, Vijay Prabhu, thank you very much. You're very kind. The quote from the translation related to the verse you chose for today, 5:12:2, is as follows. Quote, "Due to my material conceptions, I am diseased." End quote. So based on this quote, my question is as follows. In what measure my material conceptions could be there making me become diseased and not only diseased, materially diseased in relation to my material body? In what way? Fatally diseased, like dying from a disease like COVID-19?
Say that again.
What is the connection between having material conceptions and dying from COVID-19?
Oh, well, that's the material disease. That's temporary. But and of course, actually, material conceptions are also temporary. But these material conceptions, they carry on life after life after life. So this is the difference. The COVID-19, you can get it in this life, could get it in the next life, but it doesn't carry on from this body to the next body. But material conceptions, they carry on from one body to another, to another, to another.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is it that dying from COVID-19 can be caused by by the cultivation of my material conceptions?
No. They come. I mean, because people get you get the virus, and they're not getting a disease because of a material conception.
Yeah, isn't that I get the virus because I was there not cultivating spiritual life and instead cultivating material motivation?
Devotees have died that have COVID, that have COVID-19 in our movement, unfortunately, so far. So even though they have no, material conception, they're also dying of this disease. Unfortunately.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Jivita has something to say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think we're maybe overthinking this. The material conceptions are the basis of having a material body. And when you have a material body, you're subject to all kinds of diseases. So whenever you have a disease, the basis of it is a material body. So in that way, the material conception is the cause of the disease, because it's the cause of the material body, which is the basis of all disease. I think this is a good way of thinking.
Yes. Now you gave me the answer. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.